Hello, so my name is Yannick. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been in Korea since 2017 January. I came here as a student. I was actually supposed to study Korean traditional medicine. So I had to study Korean language first. So I went to Yonsei University to study to follow the Korean language program. While I was doing that, actually, somebody through Instagram approached me to do some commercial shootings. Since I never had any experience with shootings, I was like surprised. Why would they need somebody like me? Because I didn't saw myself as somebody who was able to do like shootings for TV and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, let me try that once. I tried it once. It turned out great. It was a lot of fun. So after my Korean language school, I tried it, tried some more shootings as a gap year. I had a TV show. After that, a lot of agency approached me to sponsor a visa, so I got like an entertainment visa, and while I was doing that, there's more like shooting related work coming to me. So I keep ending up extending my entertainment working visa, and now I've been here for like 6, 7 years almost already.
So when you came originally, how long were you planning on staying in Korea?
So the language school was supposed to be around 1.5 to 2 years, and then the Korean traditional medicine supposed to be around 3 to 4 years. Since I'm a foreigner, you need to study a lot of Hanja, like the old traditional Chinese characters. So I counted myself as doing like an extra 1 or 2 years. So I was actually expecting myself to be here studying Korean traditional medicine for about 5 to 6 years.
What made you want to study traditional medicine, or how did that happen?
So when I was 16 years, I got leukemia. Because of the leukemia, a lot of stuff changed in my life. I was a gymnast for the Dutch national team, so I was actually only busy with like gymnastics and working out, and like I wasn't really a studying kind of person. So after the leukemia, I got treated for it. I got some side effects which kind of affected my body not to be able to do gymnastics anymore. In the meanwhile, while I was treated for leukemia, I had to throw up through because of the chemo a lot. And then a friend of my dad actually knew Chinese traditional medicine, who gave me like an acupuncture needle here, like a sticker. From that moment, I didn't threw up even once while I still had like 1.5 years of treatment left. So I was like, oh wow, this stuff actually works. So I was like, that was the first time I realized like traditional medicine is like effective in some way. So that kind of got my attention. Actually, my oncologist told me maybe you should try to do something in the medical world. So I was thinking about being a nurse, but my oncologist actually recommended me to try to be a doctor. So like I gave it a shot. I did some pre-courses like mathematics, chemistry, because I didn't have these subjects in my package before. Did my pre-med entrance exam and then actually passed it. And that's how I entered pre-med school. It was a lot of fun. Then I had my internship in Spain, which the doctor there actually knew about Korean traditional medicine. That was actually which reminded me back to this small acupuncture sticker. So I was like, oh, I might go to Korea and like dig into the Korean traditional medicine, and that's how I came here.
On your entertainment visa, like what is a normal kind of day or week for you? Like how do you spend your time and what kind of work do you do?
Yeah, I would definitely say on this visa, I wouldn't say a normal day. I would definitely say a normal week, since the work is quite irregular. I would say in my case, I would have like 2 to 3 shoots average a week in a year. So sometimes I have weeks with shoots every day. Sometimes I have like no shoots at all for like 2 weeks. So it's quite irregular. And then so I have shootings. It can be from 8 in the morning until like 8 a.m. like calling time. So it's always different. If I have free time, I try to spend my time in an active way, since I like sports. I like hiking. Korea is good for hiking since the Netherlands we don't have any mountains. So I really enjoy the nature here in Korea. Seoul is a good city for it because like it's a big city with a lot of things and still a lot of mountains around. That's why I kind of enjoy it here a lot.
So the shootings that you're doing now, it's mostly TV stuff or video, or is it modeling
So
or?
actually, my shootings are really, really diverse. It's from doing mukbang to TV shows, talk shows, to do commercials, promotional videos, hand modeling, like even like fashion modeling. But then it's not real fashion modeling because like I'm quite short. It's more like using a bag or like pants or like shoes, something like that, or like I end up like a lifestyle model a lot to like being a dad or something in a family. Yeah.
Obviously, these kind of opportunities are because you're it's like a unique situation, like you're in Korea
Yeah.
and you speak Korean,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how this kind of got
Yeah.
brought
Yeah. Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, is there anything specific where you think of like, oh, this has definitely only happened in Korea, or like you don't, you wouldn't be doing this probably back home in the Netherlands, right?
100% not.
No.
The only reason that I feel like I end up doing this work is because I speak Korean. So literally the first time they approached me was because I was uploading just traveling pictures in Korean on Instagram. So some agency noticed I was speaking Korean, and then they asked me to do this commercial. I had to speak Korean because of that, and they found out, oh, this guy speaks Korean. And back in the days, not like now. Now I feel like almost everybody speaks Korean, but back in the days it was still a little bit more rare. So I was able to do more and more jobs related to Korean speaking, and which led to more acting as well. And like when you start doing this kind of stuff, the agencies around get to know you as well, and they ask you for more and more different things. So I feel like even with my portfolio right now, if I want to go to the Netherlands, it's probably going to be very hard for me to start a career as an actor model thing in the Netherlands as well, because like most of the actors and models in the Netherlands are like professional actors or professional models with like really tall height, perfect skin, perfect face, and all this kind of things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your skill set is more
Yeah,
tailored to Korea.
my
Yeah.
skills are definitely developed for Korean filming, because most of the time actually I'm doing like bangsong, like TV shows, talk shows, and I most of the time just talk about my experience in Korea, the food in Korea, the life I had in the Netherlands, and like I'll compare to that, right?
So you said before at the start you were doing the language courses, and then you kind of stopped doing that in order to do the entertainment
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Did you feel that the Korean came quite easily, or were you studying really hard, or how?
It was actually really hard, since in the Netherlands we actually study a lot of languages before we graduated from university. So we studied like Dutch, of course, English, German, and then we can choose from French and Spanish in most of the cases. And then my best friend was Vietnamese, so I studied Vietnamese for fun as well. So since I had quite a lot of a big skill set already with languages, I thought, oh, yeah, Korean's going to be easy. It was really, really hard. I think it was really hard to master Korean, since there's so many different ways of grammar which conjugates the just the verbs a lot. So even if you know one verb, you know so many new grammars already, and then once you start speaking with a Korean who uses a different grammar but uses the same verb you already know, it still sounds like a new word, so you have no idea what he's saying, while I'm already knowing this verb for maybe a year. That was really frustrating. So I felt like I had to study everything first while I was able to understand what everybody was saying. I was able to speak a lot after a year, but after a year, I was definitely not able to have a really comfortable conversation, because the Korean, for example, I was speaking with used so many different variations of one kind of verb that I wasn't used to yet. So Korean was definitely really hard for me to study.
Did you ever do like tutors or hagwons, or you just did the language
I
school and
only
that
did
was
the
kind of?
language school. Actually, so I did that for 1.5 years. Like I studied 8 hours a day, 4 hours of Korean in Korean class, 3 hours of memorizing words, and then 1 hour of homework for like 1.5 years straight.
I imagine that I only did the same thing. I did language school,
Mm,
and I did it for 2 years, and I speak Korean quite well, but
mm,
I didn't study very hard when I was at language school. I went every day and I did my homework, but I wasn't hitting the books and
mm,
reading up and
mm.
whatever. I was very much of the mindset like, well, I want to go to school and I want you to teach me. I don't want to
Yeah,
read the
yeah,
book all day and then have it, you know what I mean, or whatever. And it worked for me, but in reality, you learn by doing. You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
learned
yeah.
by playing football and playing video
Right,
games
right,
and my
right.
friends and all that kind of stuff. But everyone kind of has their own thing. Because I know some people who are really good who are like, oh, I never studied, and there are other people like it was like, oh yeah, I studied 8 hours a day, you know, or whatever. So I'm always interested to hear like, oh, what was the way that do it. But I have another friend who's doing the same thing. He has a like a one-on-one tutor, and I always thought like if you have a good tutor, they're gonna notice that kind of stuff. Like they're able to pick up on, oh hey, you're not so good at this grammar or this verb, and they're gonna like bring that weak spot out of you. And I thought
Right.
like that would be no different than if you had like a trainer with a sport or something. They'd be really
Right.
good to teach you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I always thought that seemed really interesting.
So
But
yeah, since I've been here for like 6 years, I meet a lot of people who've been to universities to study Korean and people who just learn it by living here. I see the difference. I meet a lot of people who just lived here a while and speak really, really good Korean. I see the difference with me sometimes that I just have a little extra more in like a deep going like for like the really the hardcore words like I think university level words, but like in the end I almost feel like it almost similar, like so yeah, I don't know, like for me I felt like I needed to go to the university because I wanted to study in university, right? So in that case, if I would follow it up right to my university, it would have definitely been a benefit for me. It definitely helped me, giving me a boost because I learned Korean in a really short time, and I learned a lot in like in just 1.5 years. But if I compare it to my friends who've been here for 6 years and have been learning it from friends and friends, I don't really see a big difference. Like we can still have full on conversations in Korean with my friends or with his friends. For me, sometimes I just know a little bit more, like a higher educated level, like a word or something here and there. Yeah.
it's also, I mean, you know, because you've studied language before, language is not a straight line. You know, you always are picking up weird things. So in that same kind of thing, you said like you have a lot of hobbies, like you like to stay active and eat healthy and stuff. Do you think Korea is a good like a good situation or a good atmosphere for that? Like there's all the clubs and there's so many things to do, and have you found that like those interests help you to meet new people and have you have different experiences and open doors and
Yeah,
stuff for you?
so I think I met one of my best friends here in Korea actually, just since I love like hiking, surfing, snowboarding, whatever. Like I like so many things. Uh Most of my best friends nowadays are just coming from the activities I did. So yeah, in the Netherlands, it's actually because since I'm from a really small town in the Netherlands, it's all my hometown friends. It's not really friends like related from the things I love. It's more from like primary school, like high school, all this kind of stuff. But here in Korea, I really felt I met some people with really matching characteristics like me, like super active, open minded. Of course, we are all international here, right? So you really feel like you have a lot of common with some people here in Korea, especially if you share the love for a different country, the love for different sports, food, languages, or whatever. Yeah, I had some good opportunities here to meet some really good friends.
Is there something specifically you find like nice or like easy about living in Korea, maybe compared to the Netherlands, or maybe then you can like remember? I know like we were talking the other day, you were saying like you did had your taxes done and it was like really easy. You go and you got your money, like you got a bigger refund and it was like that. I know
Yeah.
at least in America doing your taxes is like a nightmare. Are there any like kind of those little, I don't know, kind of like stupid things that I think in Korea are very nice that maybe you maybe take for granted or you don't think about?
Yeah, for me, I think the easiest thing is to think about Korea is just everything is just available really quick and online. But I feel like everything is solvable really quick. It doesn't matter if, for example, insurance. For I mean, I'm from a rural area in the Netherlands, so if you have problems with your car, it takes a long time to solve the problem quick. In Korea, it doesn't matter if it's the middle of the night, if you're out somewhere on a mountain, you call your insurance. If I'm out of battery, I call them, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, 20 minutes, and then this guy comes. I don't even have to pay money because in my insurance package, I'm allowed to run out of battery maybe 3 times a year, and then this guy comes within 20 minutes, gives me a boost. I start my engine up and I go again, and like, okay, nice, thank you. Like not long ago, I was actually laughing because I was going to like a camping spot next to the river, a lot of like rocks and everything really loose, and it rained the day before, so the rocks were quite strong to how like sticky together, so it was really solid to drive on. And my I have like an SUV, but it's only rear wheel drive, so not four wheel drive. But I felt really comfortable driving back and forth there. And on the next day, it was so hot. The sun was shining the whole day. So many like normal passenger cars were getting stuck in the rocks, because I think the moist disappeared, so the rocks get less solid, and everybody was stuck in the rocks. And I was like laughing, like they cannot drive. And then in the end, I was stuck in there as well. I was like, what the heck is happening? Like, so I was stuck. It's like, what do I do now? And like, I couldn't call the other guys who called the ajushi to pull them out, right? Because they were already gone. It's like, oh fuck, I need to find this ajushi. And I was like, okay, I have no idea. I just called my insurance, and they called me. It's like, okay, we will transfer you to the guy who pulls out people there. And it was the same ajushi that came. I just connected with my insurance, and I think I had to pay like $30, like some unknown. And he was there in like 15 minutes. He pulled me out, and it was done. Like in the Netherlands, this would cost 200 to 300 bucks, probably dollars, US dollars. And you will have to wait a few hours. So yeah, this kind of stuff I really like in Korea. The service is great.
It is really quick. The stuff with cars, I think, is also like really, you have a problem and there's no like, oh, you can come in 2 weeks, or oh, we'll do it. They like you tell them they have a problem, and immediately they're like underneath, like, all right, what can we do? Like they're trying to get you, you know, like it's very, I don't know, it's just convenient, I guess is the word, you know, but it's a really nice part about life. Like even, you know, I drive and you drive, and it's really easy to do that. But like obviously the subway and the buses and all that, like you get used to it. But even how nice is it? Like I mean, sometimes in America you call a taxi. You can't call a taxi. You have to make an appointment or something. And here, you know, you call a taxi and you got one in 2 minutes. You know, and the guy comes right around the corner, and you go wherever you want. Or even like how nice it is to get things done. Like you know, I had to re-up my insurance for my motorcycles the other day. And I text the guy in Kakao Talk, hey, I need to re-up my insurance policy. And 20 minutes later, he sends me a PDF, and then he goes, all right, what's your bank account number or whatever? And I text him my credit card number, and then that's it. You know, I mean, like, that would be so complicated and so annoying in America, or I'm sure in Europe too. And then you hear it's just like, oh, so quick. Like, everything's so simple.